in a Chinese setting, especially when the father passes away. Actually, I'm conflicted with that as well because there are so many people who have different views about it.
Inaboki kuyong parang si deye ya putao kasi takele kuy ko no. Gun ama kyong kyong kyo wa to pai. Ko ya kya gun ama wana kong bobe o baka ma heart attack bitsi wa itso.
I was conflicted actually when my dad passed away. I decided I will not. But I stand in front, just like what you said. In my mind, I pretend he's still there. I'm talking, pretending that I'm talking to him. But I know that he's in a better place. But before that, I was thinking, well, yabo, how soon ginaba if I say no?
In our case, in our family, there's actually a mix of both religion and culture. So, like for example, now in our family, 3 of our family members have passed away. My dad, my mom, and my mom and my titi, the one who second came to know the Lord.
Yes.
So, he talked about bowing because I remember in a Chinese setting, especially when the father passes away, when you reach a certain, for example, before he will be buried, right? You have to stop and then huai lame tio bao. Okay. So actually I'm conflicted with that as well because there are so many people who have different views about it. But I think the Lord spared me from that one because my dad died from COVID. So when it came to us, it's only ashes. So there was no more ceremony. It was during the height of the COVID that he passed away. So there was no more ceremony to even do. And what we did with my dad was basically we placed his urn in the sanctuarium. And my family is very accepting naman. So even whenever we go to sanctuarium, we make it a point also to actually be there during special ceremonies like Mother's Day, their birthday, their anniversary. So we would go there as a family. So what they do is they would come and they would pai. Okay, our family would not, but we do not look at them with judgment or anything. So what we do is after them we would stand, just like what Puksu said. We would stand. We would actually look at the pictures, and we would and then before we end, they would actually ask us to pray. So probably it comes with the territory that I'm a pastor. So my ahya would say, okay, let's end with prayer. So that's how I do it. I pray, and I from time to time I would inject the gospel in my prayer. So that I guess Gwakahoki in that sense that they're more liberal in that approach.
Okay.
But I make sure that I also show my filial piety, our filial piety through that. Just like what you said, it's not like buetsoe to see panglo. So if I don't go there, then they would see as, di buekidit ba mapapalo ba? Yeah.
And they might think na di yabo, how soon
Yeah, to see.
In the traditional when the hearse the funeral car, the hearse brings the body, before it enters the cemetery gate
Yeah,
you have to kneel there to parang wait for your father's remains to come in. That's a gesture of how soon.
How soon?
It's nothing religious. Now usually, tiang paye Pasko ti Manila Pas, there's always a guy who's telling everybody else what to do. There's always a guy doing that. No? So it depends on you. Di na si Christian family ko probably both sila anina, pero di na si mix ko, o Buddhist, o traditionalist, o believe nothing, there's a Christian. Sometimes they'll get one of those so-called experts and they'll say, din say kya, din do kuilit siya, ani ko. So in situations like those, it's kind of hard because he's like the director.
Yeah.
So di na boki kuyong, parang si deye ya putao, kasi takele kuy ko. So is it allowable? Example, gwa si Christian ko. 我覺得講我袂做貴咧遐個，我覺得講那安尼是 let's say 講我袂曉啦，我講安尼是 superstition, which is actually not superstition, it's just culture, huh? And then I felt I'm forced to do it. Is that okay? 阮阿媽強叫我就拜，我也聽阮阿媽，我那講無俾哦，baka ma-heart attack. Ala, bet yung ito yun. There's an incident like that in the Old Testament Bible. So there was a man who was sick with leprosy. His name was?
Naaman.
Naaman ko. Naaman, no? So, sila Naaman, no? Iki Israel. And the prophet Elisha, kay iho la. Imde yahwa hilo iye leprosy, bolok, no? And then he wanted to reward the prophet Elisha. Yatsoy regalo ko. Pero Elisha kung mien la lang. And then he says, when I go back to my country, and my king leans on my arm, isu kong iye king he worship idol la. Tsaka di anina. Parang kyo dito pai ko.
Masipyo kyo
But
ipay.
he's the general. He's not the king, right? So the king lean on my arm kong di lay pai. Kung na lean on my arm mo, go sa kipay ko, may the Lord forgive me. Yan ang sabi niya. What did Elisha say? Yes or no? Elisha said, go in peace. Now, if I'm a Westerner, European or North American, I will say, it seems he didn't answer the question. He didn't say, yes, you may. Or, no, you may not. He didn't say, yes, God will forgive you. No, he will not. He didn't say. He just says, go in peace. That's the Oriental way of saying yes. Without using the word yes, it means yes. Ibig sabihin nun, ay, walang problema. Go in peace. So Elisha kind of understand that here is a new Christian who has a position of influence but not the highest. And then the king forces him, but he didn't want to do it in his heart. It's like the guy who went to church because of the girl, not because of the Lord God
Worshiping
Almighty.
God, yeah.
He just attended a worship service. He never really worshiped. Tama? So what he did was, he just attended a worship service because the king kay presko, but he never really worshiped. And Elijah says, go in peace. God is very kind and understanding. It's not yung strict na legalistic na, mali ka, buanin. So we don't have to be more strict than God. We can be as gracious as Him. Some people are a bit weak in the faith. They want to stand, but hindi pa ready. The Lord will not reject them. The Lord will help them. The Lord will receive them and then build them up eventually in the faith until one day they will know what to do. So let us be as gracious as the Lord.
Thank you for joining us today in our discussion. We hope we were able to enlighten you in some of the issues you are currently facing. If you have comments or suggestions, please drop us a note in the comments section. We would also like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to come join us and worship every Sunday here at Jubilee Evangelical Church. We have English services at 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., Amoy service at 10:30 a.m., Taglish service at 3 p.m., and you can also join us online through our Facebook and YouTube channels at 3 p.m. For more details, you may also check our website at jec.com.ph. We hope to see you again in our next episode here at Common Ground. May God bless us all.